Hi everybody, in today's video I will be showing you guys how to make Japanese curry. As you all know that the Olympics just happened in Japan and this is one of their most popular dishes. So these are some of the ingredients you're gonna need. You can do any protein of your choice, a carrot, a yellow potato, quarter of an onion, as well as just any vegetable of your choice. You're also going to need some curry brick, which was in the picture before, 300 milliliters of water, and your choice of side. We're going to first start off with a carrot. We're going to peel the carrot. Once we're done peeling the carrot, we're going to cut them into bite-sized pieces. Now that we're done our carrots, we're going to move on to prepping the potatoes. So as you can see here, I've used small potatoes because that's all the ingredients I have at home. But if you want, you can just use one potato and that will be good enough for this recipe. Now that we're done cutting our potatoes, we're going to cut our potatoes in about 1/4 inch pieces. That way when we cook the potatoes, it's easier to soften, and they're also bite-sized pieces. Next up, we have our onion. We're gonna take 1/4 of our onion and we're gonna cut them into we're gonna dice our onion into small pieces. Once you're done, you can set all your ingredients aside. Lastly, we're gonna prep our chicken. So for today's protein, I decided to use chicken thigh meat. When you are making this at home, you can use any type of meat you want. And then we're just gonna cut the chicken thigh into smaller pieces, about 1-inch pieces. That way it can cook and it's in bite-sized pieces. Now that we've prepped all the ingredients, it's time to cook. We're gonna start off by heating up our pot or pan. In my case, I decided to use a pot because it's gonna have to stew in the pot for about 20 minutes before we serve. A pot just easier for it to kind of boil and do its thing. Depending on your stove, it usually takes about 1 to 2 minutes before it gets hot. Once it gets hot, we're gonna add in about 2 teaspoons of oil. So after adding in the oil, we're gonna move the pot around to kind of make sure the oil coats around the pan, or the pot actually. And then after that, we're gonna add in our 1/4 diced onion, which you can see me doing here. After we add in the onion, we're gonna mix it around and kind of make sure it doesn't stick to the pan. And then we're gonna let it cook for about 2 minutes to kind of get it translucent, and then we can move on to our next step. Depending on your stove, you may want to lower your temperature so that way the onion doesn't burn. As you can see later on, I did turn my stove to level 8 heat, just so I don't want it to burn and it can slowly cook. We're gonna keep cooking our onions. You're gonna keep mixing and stirring to make sure it doesn't stick to the pot. So just keep doing that for about 2 to 3 more minutes and making sure it's translucent. After cooking it for about 2 to 3 minutes, this is how we want it to look like. After that, we're gonna add in our chicken. So there's 2 ways of how you can do the chicken. I want my chicken to be more flavorful, so I'm adding in the chicken now. But if you want, you can cook the chicken on the side and just throw it in the stew afterwards. You're going to cook your chicken and onion and mix that well together. If you need to add more oil because of sticking to the pan, which is what's happening here, just add a little bit more oil so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot and eventually burn your food. I'm just going to kind of mix it around for about 2 minutes until the chicken starts cooking. We're gonna let the chicken and onion cook in the pot for about 2 to 3 minutes. After about 2 to 3 minutes, I'm gonna throw in our potatoes, which you will see in the next clip. As you can see, I've added in the potatoes, so I'm gonna mix that well with everything. After adding the potatoes, we're going to let it cook for about 2 more minutes, and then we're also going to add our carrots next. I'm keeping the level at level 8, which is the heat that I cook at. After adding in the carrots, we're going to stir that around for about 1 to 2 minutes. Once 2 minutes is up, we're going to add in our water, so then that way the curry can start simmering. We're going to add in the water and leave it at max heat. Once the water comes to a boil, we're going to just turn it down. After the water came to a boil, we're gonna add in our curry bricks. So this is the brand that I use. When you go to the supermarket, there's different kinds you can find. Any golden curry or any Japanese curry bricks will work. For about 300 milliliters of water, I use 2 curry bricks. If you want it to be more flavorful, you can always add more, but I thought 2 was good enough for this pot or this size. After adding the curry bricks, we're going to just kind of move it around and stir it around. That way the curry brick itself can start melting to become our curry stew. As you can see here, I've just been kind of stirring the ingredients around to make sure that the curry brick melts and there's no clumps. Want to make sure we break down all the clumps and it can cook evenly and the flavors can melt into our pot. I also put my temperature at max heat so then I can come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it back to level 6 heat, and then we're just going to let it cook for about 20 minutes until all our ingredients are cooked thoroughly, and then an indicator that I usually use is I make sure that the potatoes are soft and I can slice through them, and that's when I know it's ready. If you want, you can occasionally stir the pot to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom of the pan or the pot, which is what I'm doing here. Just let it cook for about 20 minutes and it should be good to go. Here I'm just doing the potato method, so I'm trying to slice through a potato and make sure I can cut in without any problems, and that's how I know the potato is ready and the curry is ready to go. Here I'm just turning off the heat, closing the lid, and then just setting it aside, and then we can move on to our next step. For today, I am serving my curry with udon, which is a type of noodle. Curry can be eaten with just about anything. As you can see here, we have people eating curry and rice, curry and noodles, curry and naan. You can choose whatever you want as your side, and for today I decided to choose udon. I'm gonna start off by boiling our water, and once the water comes to a boil, we're just gonna throw in the udon. And to cook udon, usually once it cooks for about 2 to 3 minutes, it will be ready to go. What I like to do is I like to use chopsticks to kind of play around with the noodles to kind of make sure it kind of falls apart, and we're just gonna bring it to a boil. After about 2 to 3 minutes, it should come to a boil, and that's how we know the noodles are ready. We're gonna turn off the stove and we're gonna strain our noodles. After straining the noodles, I'm going to run the noodles through cold water because I like my noodles to be chewy. Running it through water will just let the noodles to stop cooking, which gives me the chewy texture. Our last step is to serve. So as you can see, I put the noodles in a bowl, and then I'm just going to scoop the curry on top of the noodles. Just adding in some chicken, some onions, some carrots, and some potatoes. Just gonna add some sauce so that the noodles can be covered in the curry sauce. Once that's done, it's ready to serve and you can enjoy. Hopefully you guys tried the recipe at home, and if you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to give this video a like.